what advice do you have for me very specifically on how to get into the community game? You know what I mean? How do I get into that?
Right.
Where might I look? What might I do? Do I do it from the store out, or do I do it from out in? For example, what advice would you have on building community
Sure.
around the store?
Sure. Well, the answer to your question of out in or in out, I'd say is yes. You do both. First of all, again, is figure out what your mission is, what your purpose in life is, what you're hoping to do with your business besides just earn a profit.
Hmm.
And again, that includes carrying only the best products, not trying to carry everything that just because it might have mass appeal, because you'll lose on mass appeal, and you'll lose on mass appeal, especially with price.
Yep.
Then it's to involve yourself in nonprofits. Find a nonprofit that you're really comfortable with, and one that also understands that this partnership will only work if they help promote what you're doing. And so you want to find a nonprofit, and we've done that over the years for decades at this point. Nonprofits that understand that if for us to work with them, they need to also support us and send customers our way. You also need to really communicate one-on-one, individually and collectively with your staff, and communicate well that purpose, number one. And number two, what it is that makes it work for us to survive and thrive. Most people who come to work for us, and I guess I'm slightly teasing here, actually want to work for us. So if they want to work for us, and there's a reason they want to work for us, which is that they find the store attractive and friendly and family-like and supportive and generous and so forth, then they need to understand all of those things. And this is not, it's not easy. I don't want to, nothing we've done has ever been easy in life or in business. It's not like you say a few things to a staff person, they get the message. I mean, occasionally that happens, rarely, very rarely. You really need to keep drilling it down with the understanding that they may not fully get certain things. More to the point, they may get customers coming in who are difficult or complaining, and including about, but not only about price. And what do they do about that? Because that is a problem. It's not so much that we need to worry about it, it's that the noise from some of those customers can be really loud, it can be overbearing, and can make you feel uncomfortable. And so we need to communicate to staff that that's part of it, don't worry about it, this is theater, and we appreciate those people. Those people could be having hard times in their lives. I don't want to assume at all times that anyone or everyone could afford everything in our store.
Right.
It's just not, it's simply not true. And so as much as I'm a supporter of carrying the best products and not discounting, some people may not be able to afford things, and those people deserve to find a way to have those things as well. But on the other hand, most people who come into our store actually want us to be there, and they want us to be there because we're such a vibrant store, and we communicate that vibrancy. And we communicate gently, and occasionally not so gently, that if they want us to be there, they need to support us. One of our local bookstores had signs up that say something like, find it here, buy it here, keep us here.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I have that right. Find it here, buy it here, keep us here.
Wow.
And although we haven't communicated quite that way with our signage, we communicate that verbally, and we communicate that, again, in all our marketing. So there's no one-step approach to this, and one can't assume anything, and one can't assume that even people who are supporting you are not going to shop elsewhere at times. We also don't want to worry too much about that, meaning if we can get people to just spend a little more with us, we really can make it, and we can create more of that community that we aspire to do.
Yeah, that's huge. What great lessons in there. I think you always bring it back to mission, which I think is awesome.
Yep.
Not necessarily, focusing on the mass appeal products, really knowing your niche and the quality. I love the not only connecting to the nonprofit, but making sure they know it goes both ways.
Yes.
That's something that I just learned. I mean, I'm gonna do that better. I think a lot of times we're very altruistic in terms of just giving and giving.
Yep.
But the local support's got to go both ways. I mean, they need you, you need them. I think
Yep.
making that very overt, and then communicating the purpose and being proactive on that.
Yes.
Especially as the leader of the natural retailer, the store. Making sure your staff knows where your head's at on things like price and some of these
Yep.
things
Yes.
is a brilliant lesson to make sure that you're pre-communicating that. It's just awesome.
There's no there's no magic bullet to this. There's no, and you can communicate, as the expression might go, till you're blue in the face, but either to a customer or a staff person. And most of the time, if you think about it well, you can communicate and get your staff to understand things, and a whole lot of customers as well. But there will always be people who either don't want to listen, don't believe you, think you're overcharging, think you're just getting, fabulously wealthy from what you're doing, and so forth, or don't think the products you're carrying are any better. And that's really fine. I don't even want to be, I don't want to, be or think hostile thoughts about those people.
Right.
They have challenge. There's what's the expression? Be kind. For everyone you meet is fighting a great battle. People have a lot going on in their lives. They have a lot of fears, a lot of concerns, and I don't want to have ill will towards those customers. And don't get me wrong. There's sometimes I either at least internally overreact, but and get angry or frustrated, or I don't always say the right thing. But I always try and back up even after an interaction that I've had with someone like that, and not let it get to me and say, okay, that's just one aspect. There's a whole lot of other things going on, and we have a great customer base. And if we can keep working with them, and again, keep treating our staff well and educating them, that we can likely, no guarantees in life. Life it has very few guarantees. But I think our history, our legacy, our continued success suggests that some of those things are actually working well for us.
Absolutely. Well, I've learned a ton. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is that intentionality, positive attitude, it kind of starts at the top, right? And if the leader of the natural retail store has got the right attitude, it's going to spread out not only to the staff but to the community. That's huge. And do you have any last pieces of advice for people that might be watching the video?
I guess my last piece of advice would be never give up. We're that important. Kind of to the fate of the world. I don't want to. I hate to glorify what we do, but I believe that everything from climate change and income inequality and health and wellness and really developing community, which is our deepest hunger, we can be a huge part of that going forward. And it can, at the end of the day, with yourself and your staff, you can feel really good when you're part of something that's that huge.
Yeah, totally agree. And Michael, you always inspire the heck out of me, and I took a ton of notes myself, and I look forward to seeing you real soon down in your neck of the woods.
Yeah. All right. Well done.
Thanks, Michael.
Take care, Robert.